Oh, Sanman, guys. Um, was actually having quite an interesting chat on a rugby group with Amachita. Ayazazi Amachita, and we're talking about men having kids, and it got to a point where we were discussing Uguti, the middle class man, black man, will have kids when he's financially ready. And we're discussing this, and I'm like, ay Machita. I hit a realization Uguti Tina as a black man, middle class, not low, middle class. Us will never have kids. Our conditioning is of such Uguti, um, we need to be financially ready. What does that mean? So that was my question at grouping. What does that mean? What does that look like? You know, because to me, financially ready is a dream. You know, it's like saying, when I'm happy, I'll have kids. When you're happy, you go up and down. Today I might be happy at 12, and then by the time 4 o'clock hits, I'm at a low, and then again at 8. So what does that mean? Financially ready? Are you end of the month? You financially ready? 2 weeks later, you're no longer ready. What does that mean? So I did a poll. On these WhatsApp groups, you can do a poll. Would see. So how much must the man make gross salary? So that's before your deductions. How much must he make a month to feel financially ready? Again, I'm talking to the middle class and above. How much must he make? And it was so interesting because I had like under 20,000, and then I had like between 20,000 and 30,000, 30,000, 40,000, 40, 50, and then like 60 plus. And it was so incredible how many guys were like 40, 60 plus. You know, um, yeah, you had people like my brother who was saying under 20K. Um, and obviously the reason why he's saying it is because of the understanding the financial landscape of the country. Just a quick one: if you are a black male earning 15,000 rand, as a salary, that puts you in the top 8%, in this country. So again, within the landscape of South Africa, it makes perfect sense. Uti, if you are making 15K, or top eight, that's a big deal. If you are making 40,000 rand and above, then you're on the top 1%. So my whole thing was, Uti, what does financially ready look like? Machita, what does that look like? Does that mean, Uti, 99% of black men won't have kids? Because again, to earn 40K and above, you are the top 1%. Um, does that mean it will only be reserved for those who are in dual households, financial households? What does that look like? Especially with us as Abantu Amnyama, we're really struggling with the relationships. Come on, let's not even play. We're struggling with co-parenting. We're struggling with all those type of things. So what does financially ready look like? We have been conditioned as guys to think Uguti, to have capacity to have kids, you need to earn a certain amount of money. Yes, obviously kids don't eat umoya and sun, but at the end of the day, there is an amount. There has to be an amount. OCs have also been conditioned. Uguti, they need a man to earn X amount of money before she feels safe around him financially, which also puts an additional amount of pressure. Um, there's a certain lifestyle, that you need to live and afford for your kids. And guys, it does exist. But look, this is how I look at it, and this is how I try and explain to people. Uguti, kids are as expensive as a car. Meaning, Uguti, when you can drive a car that costs you 1,000 rand a month in car installments, or you can drive a car that costs you 50,000 rand a month. It's all based on your standard of living. The phone that I'm using to record this was like a 2,000 rand phone. Some people's phone unit that they pay every month, their contracts are like 1.5 every month. So rating, which every 2 months they can afford buying two of my phones. Or one of my phones every 2 months as an example. So it's all based on your standard of living and what you choose. Some people are happy to send their kids to a very modest school, whereas some people want to send their kids to the best that money can afford. Therefore, our mind around what being financially ready will be very different. If you are one of those guys that think, Uti, your kids need to go to a St. Stephen's or St. John's, where they're paying 15,000 rand school fees a month, then what financial readiness looks like to you is going to be different from someone who's happy to send them to a good government school where it costs, I don't know, 2.5 a month, for their kids. If you're that person that's looking to get 2, 3, 4 kids, all going to private school, paying 60,000 rand a month just for school fees, your financial readiness will look very different from someone who's happy to have one child and goes to a good modest school. So again, those type of things. My car, very, very entry level. So I'm very happy with the standard of living in terms of my car. My food grocery or my grocery budget is very high. So my financial space is very different. But I do understand ukuthi khona a minimum, for my standard of living. But we shouldn't get too lost in it, because when I look at my friends, when I look at, most of us are middle class, and I look at, let's say, this group that I'm in where you've got like 120 guys, or like 120 guys of all ages, maybe 20 are fathers, the other 100 next, and it's concerning, and it has to be concerning, because again, the working class, they're having babies left, right and center, and it's our tax money that is going to go and subsidize and pay for grants and pay for this and pay for that. Whereas the middle class, they're like, oh, maybe not have kids. We're getting older. So many of my peers in their mid to late 30s don't have kids, and it's hard. People assume it's just hard on females, it's also hard on men. As you get older, it gets tougher and tougher to have kids, and your sperm quality gets worse. Lapo, when you're 45, you are financially ready, earning whatever huge amount, million rand a month, but so you're financially ready, but you physically can't. So again, those are all these type of things to consider around financial readiness to have kids, what that looks like. Not being lost in the conditioning where you need to have a 5-bedroom house in Bryanston that costs 45,000 rand a month, and Umam needs to drive a Range Rover, and you need to drive BMW Banbani. And let's not get lost in those things. Let's not get lost in sending our kids to the most expensive private schools. Let's not get lost in this and this and that, and truly understand the economic landscape of the country, your standard of living, what you can adjust on, and prioritizing your kids for them just to have a good life for themselves without you having to give them designer Gucci, every day of their life. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think. To you, Machida, Nan Bosisi, what is a good amount before tax, before deductions, to make monthly for you to be financially ready? Don't look at it from being in a dual financial income hustle. Don't look at it as getting assistance from anyone else. When a self, how much would it take for you to feel ready and confident financially to say, I'm ready to have one child? Good chat. Have yourselves a great day. Sharp, guys.